The one thing you need to know is buying and selling crypto, even staking income and stuff like that. Don't worry about this tax. Make money, short-term gain, long-term gain, make on crypto. Don't worry about this tax. It all is building and coming out tax-free in the Roth structure.
Wait as long as you can to take Social Security. Do not take it as soon as you're able. At Social Security age, you increase the amount of your full Social Security benefits the longer you wait.
Today, we're going to be answering your questions, okay? It's not just Mark and I talking about what we want to talk about. We're going to answer your questions. So if you have questions, just know every once in a while we do an open forum podcast where you can go to directedira.com/podcast and submit your questions. And we don't send you a bill for $1,000 an hour, okay? Yeah. If you did try to book a call with us, we don't do it anymore, but you would get a bill. But this is free.
Yeah, and some questions have piled up in there, and we're like, we better do an open forum.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. There's been so many important topics to cover, we just thought, oh, we forgot. We got to get back over to open forum. Now, I'm pulling some questions from the Main Street Business Podcast, where we have a category of retirement plan questions or retirement account questions. And so we're going to pull from there, as well as our Directed IRA Podcast open forum portal. So let's dive into it. I've got an interesting one, but you want
to lead off?
Okay, I'll lead off.
You got interesting.
Okay, so on Steve here from Weaverville, North Carolina, says on Robin Emery's question, which was an earlier question in this lineup, about a one-member, multi-member IRA LLC needing to take an RMD. You offered 3 options. So folks, go back and we covered that in an earlier podcast here. So let's say you have to take required minimum distributions. All of your IRA is in an LLC, and you can't just take cash out. What do I do? And so we gave some options on how to do that. Steve asked, could a 4th option be for the member's IRA to simply do a conversion to Roth for their share instead of taking an RMD? If not, why not? In the situation of a multi-member IRA LLC, what would be the last possible date for a member facing an RMD in the future to do a conversion? So 2 questions here. The first one I need to ask you, let's say I have a $100,000 traditional IRA, hypothetically, and I have to do an RMD. Can I do a Roth conversion to qualify for that RMD, or don't I just have to take money out?
Yeah, you cannot do a Roth conversion to satisfy the RMD. You could do a couple different things to satisfy. If you don't want to take the distribution out, you could do a qualified charitable contribution. Okay. That's another thing you could do, is rather than taking the RMD distribution to yourself and paying tax on it, you could give it to charity. Okay, maybe that's a church, you pay tithing, or other nonprofits you want to support and be a little philanthropic. You could do that. But you can't just convert it to Roth and check the box and satisfy RMD. And I know the answer, when he asked the question, he said, and if not, why not? Well, write your congressman, okay? Yeah. Steve.
I'm with you.
Write your congressman in Weaverville, North Carolina, and ask him, because that's what the law says. Yeah. Is my answer.
So, and what some of you might be going, what's the hang up here too? What's Steve trying to do? So what Steve's trying to do is keep that investment in that IRA LLC all retirement. He doesn't want to take a portion of that LLC as personal ownership to satisfy the RMD. He's like, damn it, I want to keep it at least in a Roth. Can I do that? No. Now,
you could, one way you could convert the whole damn thing, and then now you're all Roth and you get out of RMD. Now, if you're doing it in the year you still owed RMD, you still have to take that one RMD for that year. Maybe it's $100,000. You have to take $3,500 that year, let's say, is your RMD. But if you converted the whole rest of the account, now you're done with RMD, and you wouldn't have to do it in the future.
And Steve probably already knows this, but we want to tell everybody, you may have a traditional IRA that's in this LLC, and you're like, Bug, you got to take an RMD for this LLC. If you have other IRA money that's not tied up in an LLC, you can take money from that IRA to satisfy the RMD for the IRA that's invested in the LLC. Because what an RMD says, what's your total traditional IRA pool of money and investments, and then you do the math based on your age, and here's how much you got to take. Well, take it from an IRA that's in the stock market, not an IRA that's invested in an LLC, and that could work too. But anyway, Steve, you probably already know that, just saying that for everyone else. Great question. Thank you, Steve.
That was a great question.
Okay.
All right, we got Kathy from California. She says, I'm 59 and a half and have a Roth 401k with no match with my employer. I know I can roll it to a Roth IRA even though I'm still working for my employer because she's over 59 and a half. But can I roll it to an existing solo 401k that I have? Yes, you can, Kathy. And the trick is going to be you must have a Roth account in your solo 401k. See, when you have a solo 401k, you can have a traditional account and you can have a Roth account in the solo 401k. So if you don't have the Roth account yet in your solo 401k, it's easy. You can open one. We do them here at Directed all the time. Many of our clients just do Roth 100%. Some do a little traditional and Roth. But just get the Roth solo 401k account open. You can have the money rolled over from your employer 401k because you're over retirement plan age of 59 and a half, and it can go right into the solo 401k. So, and I love that strategy. If you're doing the solo K, I wouldn't even do the Roth IRA then in that instance. Just have that employer 401k with crappy investment options, limited at the best, over to the solo 401k where you can have all the self-directed options. You're not stuck with a menu of what you can and can't invest in. So full steam ahead, Kathy.
Yeah. Great answer, Matt. Thank you. I've got a question here from QA Swingle. They got a little unique handle. I feel bad because her question's like, I turned 66 in October, and can I use this HSA strategy? Well, October is come and gone, so hopefully you got your answer where you needed. But there's a couple of comments I want to make here that are really important, though, for everyone. She said, I will be 66 in October and reach full security, Social Security retirement at 66 in 8 months. If I work until I am 70, but start taking Social Security payments now, can I put it all in an HSA and offset the taxable gain and will there be penalties and this and that? Here's the bigger issue, and I frankly hope you didn't do it. People, wait as long as you can to take Social Security. Do not take it as soon as you're able at Social Security age when you're eligible. You increase the amount of your full Social Security benefits the longer you wait. There is so much benefit to waiting. And I know some of you, it's a big deal that you need that money right now. And if that's the case, I understand that. Take it if you have to. But if you can wait and just delay, for every year you delay, the amount of your benefit goes up exponentially for the rest of your life. I mean, you are leaving a lot of money on the table over your lifetime if you hurry and take that Social Security as soon as you can. So please wait, folks. And also at age 65, you got to be on it with Medicare and applying for Medicare, because if you miss that window, there's a penalty imposed on you for the rest of your life for not taking Medicare when you were supposed to. And Medicare offers a lot of benefits from a health insurance standpoint that you may not realize. I have very wealthy people that are waiting for the moment they can get Medicare because it will reduce the cost of their health insurance if they go out and still on the open marketplace. So it's very, very important you're on top of that as well.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say on the Social Security is I agree with what you said for your own Social Security benefit. The only thing I would say if you're doing the spousal benefit, many times there is not a benefit for waiting to the, so you don't take it early, but just take it the normal retirement plan age, because the spousal benefit does not go up after normal retirement plan age.
That's good.
Whereas if you delay your own Social Security benefit, it does go up, but the spousal benefit, just take that at full retirement age. It's not going to go up later. You might as well claim it now. That's the only caveat I'd give on the Social Security.
Wow. Now there's another pro tip here, because if you want to go to SSA.gov and find out what your benefit is, because you may be remarried, or you may have paid into the system and your benefit is better than the spousal benefit.
Yeah, it's a great point.
So then wait. But if you go there and run the calculation and go, oh, the best I'm going to get is the spousal benefit for whatever reason, which is not a bad thing either. But if that's the best you're going to get, grab it. Yeah. I love that point. Yeah. But you got to make sure you're okay. You may get more than the spousal benefit, then wait. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. Great pro tip.
Just a little tip there,
Yeah.
All right, next question we had. This is from Gerard from Massachusetts, who says, I have an S-Corp with a solo 401k. If I borrow $40,000 from the 401k, can I use it to buy a business vehicle for my business and have my business repay the 401k? And can I deduct the interest on my business return even though I'm paying my solo 401k? Gerard, the answer is yes, you can. Okay, you can take out half the balance of your 401k, not to exceed $50,000. So you want to take 40, as long as you've got 80 grand in the 401k, you can take 40. Now that comes out as a loan. It's called a participant loan. You're going to be paying it back over a term of 5 years, rate of prime interest plus 2%. Let's say that comes out to 7%. But you're paying back your own 401k. So that money is going back into your 401k, helping build it at a 7% return back right there. But that 7% of interest that you're paying is deductible on your business return as business interest because you use it to buy a business vehicle. Now, whether that's in your DBA or your S-Corp or sole prop, doesn't matter where you use that money. That was really your personal money you used to go buy a business asset. So absolutely, you're going to take that interest deduction. You may even have bonus depreciation on that vehicle you can take. I don't know. There might be a lot of other benefits there. But love that strategy. Great question, Gerard. And I don't want to say full steam ahead twice in a row, but
pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal.
There you go. We could come up with something. All right. Here's a question from Frank DeBonds just 9 days ago, and I am so glad we're catching this one. There's some misinformation here that we've got to talk about. So he said, you're going to freak out a little. He goes, hey, I listened to one of your podcasts about investing my IRA into an LLC and purchasing a home that I can rent to myself.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shoot. Now, didn't the IRA allow you to pay rent to yourself too? Can you elaborate on this? I live in Virginia. Well, Frank, wow. That's wrong. We would have never said that. But I think I know where you may have heard something like that. So I'm going to unpack that a little bit. But you cannot, everyone, on the face of this, take an IRA, invest in an LLC, and then purchase a home that you rent to yourself. Not good. That's a prohibited transaction. Now, what you may have heard is we talk about we call this kind of a Roth IRA retirement or a future second home strategy. You may take your Roth IRA, form an LLC, buy a home, rent it to third parties for several years or more, pay down the mortgage if there was one, let that Roth IRA own that home, and maybe a home that you envision living in someday. That's fine. And then when you turn 59 and a half, you can deed that home to yourself and move in or rent it to yourself or whatever once you distribute it. So it's kind of a cool strategy where people say, oh, I really want that home in the future, but I can't afford it right now, but I want to lock it down. So they let their Roth IRA buy it. And then when they reach retirement age, 59 and a half, they can just deed it right out of their Roth to themselves, tax-free, penalty-free, and rent it to themselves or move in once it's out of the Roth. But there is no strategy that we teach where you can have a rental property owned by your IRA and rent it to yourself or your family, children, parents, yada, yada. So Frank, get a consult with one of our tax lawyers about this strategy, and let's help you get into what you want to do with your IRA, and we'll teach you the rules to keep you out of harm's way.
Yeah, I'm glad we caught that one because, yes, Frank, we did not want you to go down the wrong path there. When we're talking about buying real estate with your IRA, we're talking about buying investment real estate, okay? Now, I do have the one example, and I've told this story before, of the client who used their IRA to purchase their mother-in-law and father-in-law's home and then rent it back to them from their IRA, which you can do because you got to know who's disqualified person. So you can't have use of real estate that your IRA owns, nor could your spouse, your kids, your parents. There's all these prohibited people that can't use the real estate that you buy. So, but your mother-in-law and father-in-law are actually not on the list. But you can't go stay at the house over the holidays. So maybe that's a good thing. Okay.
Okay. I've got another one.
Okay, go for it. Yep,
okay.
go for it.
So this is from XORU 2386. Probably means something very special
Sounds like
to you.
one of Elon Musk's kids.
Yeah, there you go. Or a rocket ship in one of his satellites. Okay, so he says, I want to start an LLC as part of the Trifecta strategy. And for those that don't know the Trifecta, this is something we have really coined, used, trademarked, and help us explain from a visual perspective a client's overall plan, whether it's including their ordinary income and assets and retirement accounts, how you bring it all together. It's called the Trifecta. So please get to our YouTube channels, and we talk about it all the time and demonstrate it visually. So he says, do you recommend an attorney in Austin, Texas that understands the Trifecta? I also want to understand how to buy a house under an LLC versus my name and how it works. I have 2 houses under my name. Well, first, our attorneys help clients all over the country. I don't know an attorney in Austin, Texas that espouses all of our strategies. I would recommend you just call KKOS Lawyers, our own office, and we have attorneys that can help you over Zoom, and we set up entities in Texas every day and can help you out. I will say, though, we also have our tax advisor network, and I have tax advisors in Austin that are freaking amazing and understand the Trifecta. Because what's going to happen is you meet with your attorney and set up your LLC, then on day 2, you've got to report it on your tax return. And then your accountant's like, what the hell are you talking about? So you really want your attorney and your tax advisor on the same page. So get to markjkohler.com and look at the tax advisor network, and you will find a number of tax advisors that teach the Trifecta, can build it. They won't set up your LLC, but they can help implement the tax strategy that goes with it. And folks, if any of you out there own rental property in your own name, get it out of there and into an LLC right away. We teach this on our Main Street Business podcast all the time. There's some great episodes there. Please check those out. So good luck. We wish you the best.
All right, okay, I got a question here from Good Boy in California.
Oh, okay.
Says, hi, Mark and Matt. I'm in California and make more than $200,000 in W-2 wages. I do not want to open a 529, so I opened an ESA for my 11-year-old kid. The problem is how to fund it, because he's over the income limit of where you can contribute to an ESA. I do not know anyone earning less than $110K, so they can't contribute to the ESA. Also, my parents are overseas with no social security number. Oh, can I gift my son? And this is good. Okay, Good Boy has gone through the usual things we would say. Okay, yeah. Can I gift my son $2,000 so that he can contribute himself to his ESA? If so, does he need to file California and federal taxes? Thanks in advance. Yes, Good Boy, you can. You can gift him the $2,000. I'd like him to have a bank account. Okay, and then that $2,000 can get contributed by himself into the ESA. Now, he does not have to have earned income. This can really just be a gift. It's not like something you need to pay him. Like now the strategy we talk about with your kid's Roth, your kid needs to have earned income. So they need to be working in your business or on a rental property. And then you get into, well, do they need to file a tax return? Some states you might. Were you under the federal, the standard deduction or not? But for the ESA, they do not have to have earned income. So yes, you could gift it to him. He just needs to have his own separate account, so it can be his $2,000 and then contribute from his account into the ESA.
Okay.
Did you agree or disagree?
Yeah. No. I totally love it.
Okay.
And whenever you gift money to your kids, they don't have to file a tax return. I just want to say that a different way. And I wonder, we don't know the facts here of how old your child is.
11. He said 11.
Oh, okay. Oh, there he is, my 11-year-old. Well, holy crap. He should be in your tax strategy, paying him to do the Roth and the ESA all in the same breath, because you could take a tax write-off to get him that $2,000.
Now, I don't know. Good Boy says he's W-2 wages. I don't know if he's self-employed. This is your own S-Corp or an employer. I presume it's employer. Maybe you got a rental property, though. So, like Mark's saying here, you might be able to get a deduction on this and get your kid $2,000 and get the money in the ESA and do a Roth IRA on top of it.
Yeah. Now, out of curiosity, we have another comment in the chain. MDSA says, out of curiosity, why don't you want to open a 529 since you live in California? Can't you open one in any state still? Well, we do talk about the 529 as an option, but we're not a big fan because the 529, you do not control the investment, and good luck trying to find out what the fees are in there. And the rates of return are not stellar. So what we like to do is a three-pronged approach with college savings for kids. We like to use the ESA, the Roth, and the 529 in concert. Now, I'll just say it briefly. We have podcasts on this in the Main Street Business Portal. But the 529 is great when grandpa and grandma want to give your kid a big chunk of money for college.
Yeah.
Great. Take it. Don't turn it down. Say, hey, grandma, grandpa, instead of Christmas this year, buying them crap they don't need, open a 529 for them wherever possible you want them to, and have them put money in the 529. That's great. There's no income limits in that issue. Also, on the other end of the spectrum, we'd love you to be helping your kid fund a Roth IRA through employment in your small business. And we have strategies on that where you're not always going to be kicking out a W-2 for sure. So, because when you put money in the Roth IRA, your kid can take any contributions out for college, penalty and tax-free. We'd like to let that money ride if possible, but you can pull it out for college. And then you have the ESA in the middle of the road. Yeah, it's only $2,000, but holy crap, you could buy crypto with that. And this week would be the week you could have doubled that money quite quickly. So invest that ESA in something you know, and you can oftentimes get far, far better returns than a 529. But yeah, you're limited to the $2,000. So if you can use all three strategies in concert, you're going to get a better result for your kids going to college. Yeah. And you can go to directedira.com right now and open up a crypto ESA. Super cool.
Yeah, sometimes called a covered L IRA, covered L or college savings, education savings account. Let me clarify on the Roth IRA, because I love the Roth IRA for college savings, because you can be putting $7,000 a year into your kid's Roth. We have a kid's Roth IRA at Directed IRA. Now they have to have earned income, so you need to pay them that $7,000 if you have a business, a side hustle, a rental property. Have them work in your business, okay? This isn't your baby, your newborn, but this is your kids that can actually work in your business. Let's drop the $7,000 into it, pay them. You take a deduction. They get money in a Roth IRA that can grow and come out tax-free. But the $7,000 you put in every year, and this could be $7,000 you do for 5 years. That's $35,000 of contributions. You can take that out at any time. No tax, no penalty. Only the earnings and growth of a Roth IRA is where you've got to wait till you're 59 and a half. So that's why we talk about it in a college savings context, because at least the amount of money I put in can come out with no taxes or penalty. It's growing tax-free. All of the earnings, let your kid have a head start on planning for their own retirement, letting that ride for the long haul for them to get out later tax-free when they hit 59 and a half.
Love it.
All right, last question. Where are you at? You
I don't know. I've got some good ones.
Okay. Right.
So our DoorDash food is not here yet, so we could keep going for 10 more minutes.
Right.
You know, if we got questions, you got questions, we got answers, folks, and our DoorDasher will cut us off when they get here. Your
Dasher has arrived.
Can my solo 401k, this is from Bainbridge Bill, says, can my solo 401k LLC be a partner in an LLC that purchases a master lease with an option to buy a strip mall, and can I help manage that LLC? Also, I am 60 years old. Can I still invest in real estate through my solo 401k and take distributions from my solo 401k? All right, so let's start with question one. Any of you out there, Bainbridge Bill here, has a solo 401k that has opened up an LLC, funded it with some money, great. So very doable. We have clients do that all day long. So your solo 401k opens up an LLC and you put money in that LLC. Then his buddy comes along and says, hey, I want to purchase a master lease with an option to buy a strip mall. Pretty cool idea. And come invest in that with me. And you say, okay, I'm not going to do it with my own money. I'm going to do it with my solo 401k LLC. All right. Cool. So you're going to go partner up in an LLC that's going to purchase a master lease with an option to buy a strip mall. Great. And you personally can be a manager of that LLC with your friend. Not a problem. Now, with that said, I don't know what you mean by manage that LLC. You could be the manager of the LLC, make decisions, write checks, be involved in the overseeing of that LLC. But once you start getting too involved with a hammer, or you're like, I'm going to manage this strip mall, or we're going to get really involved in this strip mall as property management, then you've got to rein things in. When you talk to one of our lawyers to get this LLC established, which I'd highly recommend, they will give you the parameters of how involved you can be in that LLC.
Yeah, and so you can't do the property management or security. You know, you can't be Paul Blart Mall cop, you know, at the strip mall. Okay?
Yeah.
That's going to cross the line. But you could be making decisions on the property and, like Mark said, managing the bank account, checking account. Absolutely, I love that concept and idea there of the investment. Definitely something you could do. Bainbridge Bill. But also, you said, I'm 6 years old. Can I still invest in real estate through my solo K and take distributions from my solo K? Yes, you can. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how long you've had the solo K, but if this is the Roth side of it, which we love, we're always teaching Roth, you do have a 5-year rule. So if you set this up just last year, but you're 60, you're going to have to wait until you hit 65 because you need to have the Roth account going for 5 years. But then you can be taking distributions out of the solo K whenever you want.
Okay. I would say this too, for any of you that are over age 60 and think, this is a really common question that surprises me. Folks, once you turn 59 and a half, I want you to keep investing in your IRA. Keep investing in your solo 401k, putting in your annual contributions. 60 is the new 50. I mean, you got 20 more years of runway maybe, or more. We just had a friend that celebrated their mom's 105th birthday.
Wow.
I was like, what the hell? She was like 20 years old during World War II. I was like, man, I want to talk to this lady. What's going on? So, I mean, you're 60. I would hope you are healthy and would love to live 30 more years. I don't know. So once you turn 60, you should continue to contribute to your 401k, continue to contribute to your Roth IRA and Roth 401k, and continue to invest them and let that money ride. Pull out the money when you need it. Yes. But folks, just because you're retirement age doesn't mean you shouldn't continue to contribute to retirement and invest those accounts. So keep trucking. Was that the new phrase?
I like it. That one works. We haven't used that one yet. Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got a question here from Tony Trek. Says, if someone has a Roth IRA with the LLC and the LLC owns a crypto wallet, which you can do, we've done that. What happens if some random crypto project decides to airdrop you crypto? Then what if the airdrop crypto project eventually has value, let's say $1,000? How would that be valued in the Roth IRA since Roth money was not used to purchase it? All right, so let's say that your Roth IRA through this LLC owns crypto, which you can totally do. We're doing that every day. Someone's doing this with their IRA at Directed IRA, where they're buying crypto either through the Gemini Directed IRA product we have, or they're investing in an LLC, and the LLC is out doing its own crypto. Now, if that Roth IRA LLC that has its own wallet gets an airdrop, that's the Roth IRA's money, okay? It receives it. That value needs to go to the Roth IRA owned LLC. Now, let's say it has $1,000 of value. The one thing you need to know is airdrops or even mining income in a Roth is considered unrelated business taxable income for the Roth IRA. It can cause a tax. Now, this only applies over $1,000. But if it is over $1,000, then you have to file this tax return and pay this UBTI tax. If it's under $1,000, Tony, don't worry about it. So in a lot of these airdrops we've seen haven't had a significant value, so you typically don't need to worry about this. But if you do, great, you've made some money, but there is a little tax your Roth IRA is going to have to pay. You file a 990T tax return. Now, buying and selling crypto, even staking income and stuff like that, don't worry about this tax. You make money, short-term gain, long-term gain, make on crypto. Don't worry about this tax. It all is building and coming out tax-free in the Roth structure.
Great question. Okay, I have one here that it's definitely related to the retirement plan world, and it's the word beneficiary. And I think this is this question is I want to say is a reminder to all of you to sit down on a regular basis and go, who is the beneficiary of my retirement accounts? My solo 401k, my IRAs, my Roths. You may establish those accounts 10, 20 years ago, and you may have a trust now. You may be remarried. You may be this, that, or another. And you could have even had your kids as beneficiaries of those IRAs, and you want to change that up. So on a regular basis, do a beneficiary review of all your retirement accounts. Now, in this question, T.N. Navler says, I have assets held in an LLC. How do I assign beneficiaries in my trust to certain assets held in my LLC? So does the trust have to become the manager of the LLC in order to do this? If so, would that not put my assets at risk if I have a lawsuit judgment against me? Ooh, okay, there's a lot buried in this. So I'm just going to throw this out. So I think the example would be, our caller here says, I have an LLC with 2 rental properties, okay? And I want one kid to get one rental property and another kid to get the other rental property. But I also have this trust over here. How do I effectuate this? I think this really kind of puts an example on here. What you're going to do is handle all of this in your trust. You want to amend your trust with a provision that says, hey, I have this LLC right now, and if I die and I still have that LLC, here's where I want the assets in that LLC to go. So you don't need to fiddle with the LLC at all. Leave the LLC alone, but go to your trust and say, this is what I want to happen with this LLC. And step 2 is make sure that your trust is the member of that LLC. You're going to change, it's called funding the trust. You want to make sure your trust owns the damn LLC as a member. I don't care about manager, that doesn't matter, but make sure your trust is the member of that LLC, and then you tell your trustee what you want, where you want those LLC assets to go. Now, in this process, by making your trust an owner of the LLC, it does not change the asset protection that you created with the LLC. That's fine. But you did throw in kind of this little Hail Mary at the end. Well, if I have a lawsuit against myself, what does that do? It was really what you're asking. Okay, that's a whole other conversation. So you would want to meet with one of our tax lawyers and say, oh, okay, if I got in a texting and driving car accident and was sued personally, what could they get at? You may think your LLC protects that rental. It may not. Depends on what state you live in, what state the rentals are in, and you may want to talk about a COPE LLC. It's a certain type of LLC to help with that. So get an asset protection review. There's so much buried in this. You should always be reviewing your beneficiaries, and you should also be getting an asset protection review once a year or two with one of our asset protection tax lawyers and say, what am I exposed? Where am I exposed? And then you've got this estate planning question in the middle of all this. This is good stuff. Lots there. Any thoughts?
Yeah, you need some help. But we can help you. So that's the good news. Now, of course, for any of your retirement accounts, wasn't necessarily in this question, but I just want to note that here. Make sure you list your spouse as beneficiary if you have one, because that allows them to do a spousal rollover of your account. And then list your trust second if you have a trust. And that way, any provisions in your trust that you have, whether for a spouse or kids or other heirs, all that's going to be dictated in the terms of the trust. So even for those of you that have IRA LLCs, your trust isn't the owner of the IRA LLC. Your IRA owns the IRA LLC. Well, who's the beneficiary of your IRA? Well, what's on your beneficiary designation? Okay, so you may make sure that's updated with Directed IRA. And if you do have a trust, you would list your trust as either the primary or secondary beneficiary on that, depending on what you want.
Oh, gotcha. I love it. I think I have one more question. Maybe you have one.
All right.
This is, I was trying to call a lifeline here to help answer this question because if you know the answer to this, I'm going to be super impressed.
I probably don't.
Okay, yeah. It's a Social Security question, which it goes hand in hand again with retirement. And we just talked about delaying as long as possible to get Social Security. Well, this question is about an ex-spouse, and I was married for 30 years, and then for close to 30 years, and we're now divorced, but I heard I can get Social Security. Is that true? And the answer is yes, but all the nuances of that is very tricky. So I'm going to make a recommendation here, and this is, again, good for everybody listening. When it comes to Social Security, get a Social Security review. And the person we'd love for this, that's a co-author of my book, Financial Freedom, and he does a Social Security analysis. It's literally a service at his financial advisory firm, and that is with Randy Lubke. Lifetime Paradigm. Now, paradigm is a weird word to spell, but get into Google and type Lifetime Paradigm, Randy Lubke, Lubke, Lueb as in boy, Ke, Randy Lubke, and schedule a Social Security review. And any of you that are coming up on Social Security age, do the same thing. Get a call with Randy and go, all right, when should I claim Social Security? How much am I going to get? Oh, this is from my ex-husband or my ex-wife or this or that. All of these issues play into it. And you're probably going to be coming up on Medicare enrollment too. So really, I highly encourage you to get a consult with Randy. I know it will rock your world. We've had him on our show to talk about Social Security, but this is another weird one. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm going to punt on that one too.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a show on Social Security.
Yeah.
We need to do that on Social Security and the strategies, because there are a lot of nuances and tricks to it, especially in this scenario where it's a unique situation. Because sometimes the answer you think it is not actually the true answer. That's the danger where we're like, yeah, let me hold on this.
Yeah, and what you think the logical answer is, never the case when it comes to the government and laws and IRS.
You're more likely to take the illogical answer as the answer, and you'll be right.
Yeah.
All right, last question I had was from Bill on acquisition indebtedness. Whether it's taxable for UDFI. He says, under what circumstances will leverage debt in a Roth not be subject to UDFI, unrelated debt financed income tax? There's a number of circumstances. So if I buy real estate with a Roth, and I'm using real estate in this example here, and I go put, $100,000 down and I get a loan for $200,000 to buy a $300,000 piece of real estate, there's this UDFI tax that'll apply to your IRA, because the government's like, hey, $200,000 of this was not IRA dollars. We let you buy a $300,000 asset, and you're going to get all those returns going back to your retirement account. But the percentage of profits from the debt, in this example of 2/3, are subject to this UDFI tax. Now, I got a whole chapter in my book on this. We talk about the Self-Directed IRA Summit. There's lots of other content on this, but there are some exceptions to it. First, if you have a Roth Solo 401k, Bill, a Roth Solo 401k is exempt from UDFI on acquisition indebtedness. So if I'm using debt to buy real estate, I don't have to worry about it. You're exempt. Okay, yeah. Solo Ks got out of it, 401ks in general are out of it, but Roth IRAs would be subject to it.
And hopefully you have not already bought this property with debt with your Roth, and you are talking about a Roth 401k, because if you have it in a Roth IRA, you can't move that Roth IRA into a Roth 401k. Yeah. So we're hoping you're ahead of the curve here.
Yeah. Now, Roth IRAs are always Roth IRAs, so that you can't roll a Roth IRA into Roth Solo K later.
Call your congressman.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah. And and I have a lot of clients that have 10 million plus Roth IRAs that do real estate. There's a lot of ways still around this. Let me give you one. Okay. And this, we talked about it at our Self-Directed IRA Summit, our All Asset Summit. I bring some of my clients, some of the structuring and strategies that they do. Here is one. He bought a piece of real estate, a very valuable piece of real estate, but he didn't have enough money to take it down in his Roth IRA. He's got a $10 million plus Roth IRA now. But he put down about $500,000 from his Roth IRA to buy it, but he needed over $1 million. How did he get the money in? We didn't want to do a loan because he knows this will cause this UDFI tax for his Roth. So he had other partners joint venture in and partner with them. His Roth took the deal down, and he brought them in as partners. These were just other investors that came in, and they got an equity interest in the deal. For bringing in money, they didn't get debt. So they got a certain percentage of the profits. Now, that's one way around it, because I can structure the deal with some private investors where I don't have debt, I've got equity.
Now, may I comment?
Yes.
Now, the trick here is, and I love that strategy, is you want to take out a piece of paper or a spreadsheet and put a line down the middle and go, okay, if I do this with debt, it's not the end of the world. Don't think UDFI is the evil, the worst thing in the world. Do the math and play the whole thing out. Like, say, I'm going to sell the property in X years, and here's what the debt will probably be, and here's what that tax would be at the end of the day as a percentage of my overall profit. That's your option A, option one. Then come over here and say, okay, now if I give away equity, I'm going to also be giving away profit.
Exactly.
I might want to give away tax rather than give away profit.
Right.
But you can game it. You could say, all right, if I give away profit in order to get that extra money to close the deal, how much profit can I give away where it's less than the damage of debt?
Yes.
Because you can say, well, if I give away 10% of my profit to these investors, that's actually better than paying tax. But if I give away 25% of my profit, ooh, I'd rather pay the tax.
Right.
And so you could do an A and a B analysis and then find that point where it's not worth it to give away equity.
Yeah. Great point. And I think you got to do that analysis first, because it's a hassle to bring in all these other people. Now you got other people in your deal, and it's not a hassle, but I mean, it's work. Okay. That's going to take some work.
Also dealing with the bank's work.
But keep on the other hand, you do have interest, that you'd be paying some bank or private lender to lend you the money anyways.
Put that in option.
So that's a cost to you as well that you're going to be paying, plus the tax over there, and then look at what you'd have to do in terms of profit sharing with the other investor.
Ooh, great point.
Other strategy that's cool is I've had clients take on debt on deals, and if you pay the loan off 12 months before you sell, you don't have to calculate UDFI at the time of sell. See, most of our clients, they're doing real estate deals with their Roth IRA. They're making money when they sell the property. They might be cash flowing rental income, but they're making money when they sell the property. Well, what the IRS says is on the sale of the property for UDFI, we look at the debt you have at the time of sale and over the prior 12-month window. So if you held the property for 5 years, but and 4 years in, you paid off all the debt, that last 12 months, 0% debt, that's the calculation you use for UDFI, which means no UDFI tax to pay.
So now
even though I got the benefit of debt for 4 out of the 5 years.
I freaking love it. And this is, now you put in column C. And so think about this. An investor coming in on the front end is going to require more ownership because of the risk involved. They don't know where this is going to go.
Very true.
But if you have column C, you go, well,
come in the last year.
I'm going to bring in that investor for the last year and go, hey, if you'll pay off my debt within 12 months, we're going to sell. You're going to have a very clear picture of what their profit would be. And you say, I'll give you 10% of the profit if you'll pay off this debt for 1 year, rather than paying 25 or 30% of effective tax over here. And an investor would be, or a partner, careful the I word, would be a lot more easier to find and close and pay them less.
Yeah, and it's easier to know your numbers too. Like where is the deal at this point? I'm going to hold it another year. What's the likely profit? So how much equity do I need to give up? What would the DFI tax consequence be? So you can really get a little more precise on your numbers at that point. And we've done that a lot, is where we're doing it at the back end of that. Because it is easier to kind of run the math and do the numbers.
I love this. And one thing to keep in mind there too is not to structure that partner as more debt, because it's going to be easy to go, hey, if you'll pay off this debt, I'll give you 10% of the profit, and it will almost look like interest, because you're going to say, you just become the new lender is really what you're doing, but it has to be structured as equity.
Right. They call that disguised interest if you really treat it that way.
Yeah, so be careful.
But one way I've done it is, let's just do a kind of a gross proceeds or some type of profit sharing mechanism where we can kind of know where the numbers are going to be. And the deal might get a little bit better for them and sweeter. It might get a little bit worse. I mean, that's the point of equity, is it can adjust and have some little bit of variability to it. Yeah. But that's a great strategy, and there are a lot of ways to get around UDFI. So, Bill, hopefully that gave you some options there to still be using the Roth, leveraging it to buying more assets, but also getting around UDFI in the first place. And I just want to say this, too, for people with an IRA in general that might be scared of UDFI. Guys, in your IRA at TD Ameritrade or Robinhood, if you have $100,000, you're buying $100,000 worth of assets. If you have a self-directed IRA and you can use debt to buy $300,000 worth of assets, but I only pay a tax on the $200,000 of debt.
Yes.
But I have more returns. By the way, you're only paying tax on the money you're making when you're making profits. How are you behind? You are ahead of the game.
Yes.
You have more assets that can produce more income and produce more gains for you, and you're only paying this UDFI tax on the debt piece of it. So I wouldn't be too scared about it, because I think it's a way for you to grow your account exponentially, investing what you know and having more purchase power.
And just when I thought I was going to say, thank you for listening to the show, I got to make one more damn comment. So I was literally at church 2 weeks ago, and there's a financial advisor that's a friend of mine there. And he was like, yeah, I listened to one of your podcasts, but you just don't put real estate in an IRA because you don't get the tax benefits, and then you can't use leverage. And he didn't even know about UDFI. He didn't even think you could use leverage. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I said, first, just because you're not getting the depreciation benefits, think of the other side of the coin. I'm also not paying tax when I
Yeah,
sell.
yeah.
Seriously. So individually, I may get the depreciation benefits, but well, you can always do a 1031. Not everybody wants to do a 1031.
Right. Yeah.
So holy crap. And then number two, you could use debt. And he was like, brain blown. And I said, but make sure you get around UDFI. And then third, I said, forget debt, forget depreciation. What's your overall ROI? I can go buy an ETF and maybe get 9% on consistently if I'm lucky.
You picked one of the good ones.
Yeah. Or I can go buy freaking real estate where I'm getting a 20% ROI at the end of the, with or without depreciation.
Yeah.
Think of what my overall, what are my cost benefit analysis? Buy this or buy that. What's the net return? Now, of course, a financial advisor doesn't want to sometimes think that real estate's going to win every damn time, and I'm going to put it in a retirement account and whatever.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, buying real estate in a retirement account is not for everybody. Just like investing in real estate is not for everybody either.
Yes.
But for people that know real estate, believe in real estate, and make money in real estate, why would they not use the Roth IRA vehicle that's a tax-free vehicle to go and build wealth in what they freaking know? You want them? Okay, I've told this story many times. I had this real estate client, real estate developer. He made $1 million profit on an option on a piece of development land. He made $1 million tax-free, and he used a Roth IRA. This was over a 3-year process. I get on the freaking phone call with him at the end of 3 years, and he's pissed off. He's pissed off on the call. I'm waiting for high fives because I just helped him make over $1 million tax-free in his Roth IRA. Why was he pissed off? Because no one told him about this. He's like, my financial advisor, my lawyer, my CPA, this is a very high-income guy. He had like legit professionals, not just like some bum off the street. He's like, but all those people, not one of them told me you could use this Roth IRA vehicle to make money in real estate tax-free. I had to go force them to do it, find you, Matt, read your book, and go teach these idiots how to do it. Okay, so it's not for everybody. I get it. Like grandma might not be cool buying real estate in her IRA, but you know what? There's a lot of people that love investing in real estate and do a lot better on it and can use this strategy that's staring them right in their face. And
you know why they didn't tell him? Each of his advisors has a different reason. An accountant is often, and by the way, I'm a CPA, and I'm, you know, serve on the board of the AICPA of Arizona. I've been a CPA for 25 years. I've clerked at the tax court. I worked at KPMG. So I'm going to say this, and it might piss you off, but I think I have a little, freedom to say this. CPAs are too darn conservative. They're scared of their own shadow. They go to the most boring CE on the planet. And then to think that a Roth could buy real estate is so far out of the box for them, it's like, holy crap. Would you push the envelope and learn something new? Get over it. And then you got the financial advisor like, damn straight he's not going to tell you can buy real estate in a Roth IRA because he's got your Roth fully loaded with a portfolio in Wall Street where they're getting management fees and money on this end, that end, or every which way. The last thing they're going to do is tell you you can get a Roth IRA. And then you've got bankers, they're bank advisors. They're not even thinking about using non-recourse leverage. They want to get your name on that bottom line as a guarantor on loans. They're not even going to bring up a Roth IRA doing real estate. So every advisor has their own reason why they're not helping you, and it's regrettable and it's sad. And so this client had to go push the envelope themselves to get the advice they needed. Damn.
Let's not even say anything more. Let's just like finish on that. And here's the point.
Pen drop.
Here's the point. Self-directing your retirement account and making money, it's up to you. That's why we say you've got to take control of your retirement account. Don't be waiting for your financial advisor, your accountant, your banker to go tell you to do this. If you care about your retirement account and you want to invest in the assets you know and love, whether that's real estate, crypto, small business, private equity, venture capital, you need to take the steps to do it. We've got the team that can help you make it happen.
Wow. Great.
What else we need
Pen
to say?
drop. We'll see you next week for another episode. Thank you so much. Please share. Give us a 5-star, thumbs up, whatever, 10 out of 10, whatever
Kudos,
it takes.
I don't know.
Kudos, yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next week.